Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, picture this. You're out on your dock, relaxing, fishing, enjoying the peace and quiet of your backyard, when suddenly, BAM! The Homeowners Association, HOA, fines you. Why? Because apparently fishing off your dock is against HOA regulations. Now, normally, you'd think that's just ridiculous, but I didn't just accept it. Nope. I did something that completely flipped the script. So, grab some popcorn because you're about to hear the craziest revenge story I've ever lived through. I'm sure a lot of you have dealt with HOAs before. Rules on everything, from the color of your fence to what kind of plants you can have in your yard. But this went way too far. So here's how it started. I live in a nice neighborhood, lakeside property, beautiful view, serene surroundings. It's the kind of place where, after a long day, you want to come home, sit on your dock and fish for a few hours, right? But apparently, that's a problem for the HOA. Out of nowhere, I get this letter. They fined me for fishing off my own dock. Why? Because it's against HOA rules. Can you believe that? Now, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's a misunderstanding, but no, they were dead serious. They said fishing wasn't allowed even though it was part of my property, my dock, my lake. At first, I thought, all right, I'll just pay the fine and forget about it. But then I realized something. This wasn't just about fishing. This was about the HOA thinking they could control everything about my life. Here's where it's interesting. They didn't just fine me once. No, they started sending me warnings. Every time I fished, I was getting slapped with a fine. They wanted me to stop, like they could tell me what to do on my own land. I mean, at this point, it was getting personal. So I knew I had to do something drastic. And you're about to find out exactly what that was. I could have just let it go and kept fishing in secret, but what's the fun in that? Instead, I decided to hit them where it hurt, not just with words, but with action. So, after a few days of thinking it over, guess what I did? I bought the entire lake. That's right, I bought the entire lake that the HOA thought they controlled. In one swift move, I completely outplayed them. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do you buy a lake? Well, I did some digging, made a few calls, and found out that the lake was technically part of a property auction. Long story short, I swooped in and bought the land and the water right out from under them. As soon as I signed the papers, I was the owner. And then I put my plan into action. The next morning, I had custom signs made up, and I posted them all around the lake. The signs read, "Private waters, no HOA access, no fishing without permission." I'll admit I was grinning as I watched the signs go up. It felt like a victory, not just for me, but for everyone who's ever felt overregulated by the HOA. I could just picture the HOA members sipping their morning coffee, seeing these signs and thinking, wait, what? What did we miss? They had no idea what hit them. And then it happened. The HOA reached out to me, obviously frustrated. They wanted to know why I was restricting access to the lake. But here's the kicker. I told them, the lake is private property. You don't have access to it anymore. Boom, mic drop. They were stuck. Not only were they locked out, but their power over me was completely gone. They had no way to enforce their fishing ban on my property anymore. Now, I'm sure they were mad. They probably tried to figure out how they could counter my move, but honestly, they had no case. Legally, I was in the clear. I owned the lake. And once I posted the signs, the entire neighborhood was out of luck. The HOA couldn't touch it. I'll never forget the day I saw those neighbors walking past the lake, staring at the signs like they couldn't believe it. Some of them tried to ask if they could fish. I had to laugh. Nope, not today. I'm in control now. It wasn't just about winning a petty battle. It was about sending a message that no one, not even an HOA, can take away your freedom to enjoy your own property. And honestly, I think the neighborhood learned a valuable lesson. So what do you think? Have you ever had an experience with an HOA or an overbearing neighbor? Let me know in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more epic tales of everyday rebellion.